And I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming.
Oh, what it is, what it do, get people, peace to you, to all my guys and goddesses and all the high vibrating species out there. What it is or what it do, how we living, man. How's the world treating you? Straight up. I hope everybody good, man. Welcome back to the channel. As y'all see by the title, we are on another SCP. And this one is the monster under the bed. Y'all know about the monster under the bed? Anybody had monsters under the bed when they were children? Anybody? Because I remember seeing a little hand come from under my bed when I was a child. But, you know, of course, just like always, the parents say, girl or boy or son or child or y'all kids, y'all are crazy. Ain't nothing's under your bed. I don't see anything. But I see right here, this thing says teleportation SCP. Meaning, when parents look up under the bed, Buddy then transported and got his ass gone. When y'all shut the door, Buddy then teleported back, you know what I'm talking about? And he done reached his ass back up from under the bed trying to snatch something up. You feel me? Now we did a vid, you know what I'm saying? A countdown. Where a hand came from under the bed and snatched this little child up. It possibly could be this thing. But yo, this is SCP-3887. Monster under the bed is a Euclid, so therefore it is a humanoid type cryptid. So, without further ado, I hope you got what you need, because I do. And you know how we do. Let's get to that, shall we? Bustin'.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-3887. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3887-A is to be housed within a standard humanoid containment cell at Site-17. A one-way mirror is to be positioned on the opposite side of the bed. At least 2 personnel should be stationed in the observation room at all times. SCP-3887-A must receive a vitamin integrator with its ordinary food intake due to minor health issues. To maintain SCP-3887-A's mental health and ensure its cooperation, it has been allowed control of the lights inside its cell. In case of an emergency, control of said lights can still be overridden by monitoring personnel in the observation room to limit or otherwise impair aggressive behavior from SCP-3887-B. SCP-3887-A must be supplied with new socks every 3 days. Since containment, SCP-3887-A has made the following requests. 1 computer with an internet connection. Denied. 1 computer with access to SCP-3887-A's old game gallery. Approved, under the condition any updates are made off-site. A house cat. Denied. A gaming controller. Approved. Access to up-to-date entertainment media. Approved. Access to on-site recreational areas. Denied. SCP-3887 is allowed access to the on-site gym for health issues once per week, while accompanied by at least 1 Level 3 personnel provided with a 320 lux flashlight. Description: SCP-3887-A is a 24-year-old woman of European descent, formerly known as SCP-3887-A was a resident of Missouri. SCP-3887-A has been in complete cooperation with the Foundation after the events of Incident 3887A-1. SCP-3887-B is a humanoid entity 2.35 meters tall, with skin that is grayish-green in color. It has 2 long horns growing from its forehead, similar in form to Oryx Dama, a scimitar-horned oryx, and long black hair growing from its head, neck, and shoulder blades.
Man, that thing ugly as... Check this out, yo. This thing... I wouldn't want that to be up under my bed. I hope that ain't what was under my damn bed. I hope whew, boy. That thing is ugly as hell. Man, I'd have lost my shit. For real. I'm just taking it in. I'm sorry. I'm just taking it in, y'all. I'm just looking at it, you know what I'm saying? Cuz it reminds me of several different type of creatures. Like the Violator from Spawn. It looks like the Violator from Spawn. This hair remind creatures called critters back in the day, except they had more hair over the faces and stuff like that. But it's just the way that this bushy hair looks. It just reminds me of a critter as well. That's an old throwback movie from back in the day. There, y'all check that out. Boy, funny. But yeah, I'm just looking at it, just seeing what it looks like, what it reminds me of. But it definitely reminds me of the Violator from Spawn, except the horns on the head. Violator had the horns coming out the sides here, and I think his eyes were red. But it just puts me in the. That's just what it puts me in the mind of. Okay, let's go. Continue.
SCP-3887-B's eyes have yellow sclera with no visible pupil. SCP-3887-B's mouth hosts 3 rows of fangs, similar in shape and arrangement to the Carcharias taurus, more commonly known as a bull shark. SCP-3887-B has elongated arms, forcing it to remain in a hunched posture and to move on all fours most of the time. It possesses a long hairless tail, similar to a Rattus norvegicus, common rat. SCP-3887-B possesses both male and female reproductive organs.
Wow.
Testing has shown that any substance or material presented to SCP-3887 so far is able to be used as sustenance, but it has shown a clear predilection for SCP-3887-A's socks. SCP-3887-B was initially believed to be capable of manifesting through any dark area within a 5-meter radius around SCP-3887-A, favoring the bed. After further testing, it has been noted that SCP-3887-B can always manifest under whatever item SCP-3887-A identifies as its bed, regardless of its distance from SCP-3887-A. SCP-3887-B is extremely sensitive to light. Its skin rapidly develops blisters and open wounds when exposed to levels of light above 20 lux, forcing SCP-3887-B to flee and disappear into the closest dark area. The process through which it escapes is currently not understood and is undergoing further study. DNA analysis of SCP-3887-B's tissue samples have revealed that it shares genetic material with Homo sapiens, Oryx Dama, Carcharias taurus, Rattus norvegicus, Rhinella marina, a cane toad, and an unidentified additional genetic component. SCP-3887-B's presence has been observed to disrupt and damage digital recording devices, with said interference worsening the more of SCP-3887-B is exposed. SCP-3887-B has shown aversion towards Foundation personnel, but has avoided any hostile actions to date so as to not upset SCP-3887-A. SCP-3887-A has shown a strong emotional attachment to SCP-3887-B, and has often been observed acting in an affectionate manner with SCP-3887-B when they're alone. Incident 3387-A1. SCP-3887-A and SCP-3887-B were recovered the 2014 after the reported death of Robert, SCP-3887A's partner at the time during a party. Eyewitnesses stated that SCP-3887A's date was humiliating SCP-3887A in front of the guests and acting in a demeaning manner, as was reported to be characteristic of their relationship. SCP-3887B manifested itself under a table, assaulting until SCP-3887A's date had her limbs completely severed, after which SCP-3887B demanifested. When the authorities arrived, SCP-3887A was in a state of shock. See Interrogation Log 3887A1 for further details. Interview 3887A1.
Agent Bellamy.
Interviewer, Undercover Agent Bellamy. Interviewee, SCP-3887A. Notes: this interview was taken 2 hours after Incident 3387A1. Playing log now. How are you feeling?
What am I supposed to feel after what happened? I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't want that.
Please, miss. Take your time.
No, I'm okay, officer. I have to make it right, somehow. This is all my fault.
I see. Very well. Maybe you can help us shed some light on what happened. The other eyewitnesses said that they weren't treating you very well before the incident happened. Am I correct?
Well, yes, she was being a bit rough.
And then the entity attacked. Is there anything you can tell me about that creature? Any idea why it attacked?
I believe she was trying to protect me. Oh gosh. It's crazy. I always imagined I was crazy, but God, you're gonna think I'm gonna kiss too.
I need to hear what you have to say before I make any decisions. Please, miss. I need to make sure it doesn't hurt anyone else. Is there anything at all you can tell us?
No, she wouldn't. She's not evil. I promise. She wouldn't hurt a fly. Please. Granda used to be...
Ma'am, unfortunately, we have to disregard your statement, as she wouldn't hurt a fly. Ma'am, she did your friend a number. A number. I don't think you can promise that. Now, I get it that you may have some sentimental, feelings for 3887B, but baby girl, Buddy popped out and did a 1-0 on your homie, so he in trouble.
Be my boogeyman.
Could you please elaborate?
Well, you know when you're a kid and you think the craziest things
Used
hide
to
in
be my
darkness.
boogeyman. What the?
When I lived in my parents' home was very, very old.
She had a personal.
An old farmhouse in the country with this old barn filled with rats. We even had a well. Anyway, there were always a lot of creaking noises, so whenever I went to bed, she was stalking me in the dark, you know? I always saw her tail sticking out, or her pale arms reaching up to grab me. So I hid under the blankets, and, well, I was afraid, but I was very little. Sounds silly now, doesn't it?
Not at all. Please continue.
So, well, She kept creeping under my bed, in the shadows, moving things, knocking things over. She was a mean one. My parents thought she was something I made up to blame when stuff broke, even though it really was her fault. It all went on like this for years. I was a very lonely child.
I understand. So, when did you first realize it wasn't just something you made up?
To all you parents out there, y'all better stop playing with these children. They ain't crazy, man. Stop treating them as such. That's why they end up having these mental stabilities, dealing with certain entities and certain things that you just couldn't see because you just too fucking sleep. And these entities be doing a one for on the mentals of us as children. We know what we see. We know what we feel. We know what we hear. And it's a game being played when we call you in the room and you don't see it. Yeah, it dipped. Y'all be tripping. Y'all be tweaking. For real. Y'all need to cut it out, man. Take it serious take your child serious for a second. Ask questions. Once you start getting like details, you can start getting true detail. And then you go back through their Rolodex of the stuff that you allow them to watch and all that stuff, and you ain't seen nothing that fits the description of what she's seen. You may be dealing with something, and you may want to look into it. So stop just dismissing what your children telling you they seeing in their closets or seeing under their bed. Excuse me, because best believe, my child brings something to me, we going all the way through that. We pulling books out, we pulling Google, we doing everything we need to do to track down whatever entity it is that she saw. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't doing this. Same thing with my son. We ain't doing this. Anytime they have a crazy dream or nightmare or anything like that, I'm asking questions. I got the pen, the pad. I'm ready to get all the details. Because I'm finna meditate on it. I'm finna find exactly what's bothering my babies. You know what I'm saying? So y'all stop playing with us. Stop playing with your babies like that. I mean, I'll say us. I'm speaking for the children here. You know what I'm saying? So stop playing with your children. Take them a little bit more serious. Because it'd be a reason why when they start getting 15, 16, and they be having all these suppressed emotions and all this stuff because you wouldn't allow them to talk or you wouldn't believe them. Now they ain't got nothing. They don't even want to deal with you no more. And now y'all in y'all feelings as parents. Because, I mean, come on, man. But I digress. Let's get it. Sorry. When you start the babies, I get
first, I started to see her less and less as I got older. What else would you expect, right? But when I was around 14, I think, maybe 15, she came back. It was late at night. My parents were arguing, as usual, and I hid in my room. I was close to the bed, and she touched me. I was scared shitless. But we talked. She has been with me since. She's a good person, I promise. Please, this was all my fault.
Thank you for your time. Some people will want to speak to you further. We'll keep you here until then. After the interview, SCP-3887-A was escorted to a secure cell before meeting Foundation personnel, who explained the situation. As long as SCP-3887-B would not be hurt, SCP-3887-A promised full cooperation. Interview 3887-B 1. Interviewer, Dr. Tanner. Interviewee, SCP-3887-B.
Oh, man. Okay.
Notes. This was the first interview made with SCP-3887-B. Interview occurred while SCP-3887-A was asleep after their arrival at their first stop in Site. SCP-3887-B addressed Dr. Tanner during a routine check of the room. It was the first observation of SCP-3887-B. Playing log now.
What are you looking for? There's nothing here but little old me.
What the? Sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. Are you the entity SCP-3887-A spoke of?
I would assume so. Yeah, I would assume the same. Don't wake her. Poor dearie needs her sleep. She hasn't done anything wrong. It was all my fault.
I assure you, this is not a punishment. We are doing this so she can be safe and protected. And the same thing goes for you, too. We can keep you safe.
I'm safe as long as she is. She was my child, and I have already broken enough rules now. And to add to that, now I've gotten her in trouble with her own people.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean when you say SCP-3887A was your child?
Right.
Isn't she and daughter?
Oh yeah, duh. I mean, kids are my kind's first source of food. Some, like me, just feast on fear and stress and anxiety, while others tend to be a bit more rough. What? Didn't you have a monster under your bed too when you were a kid? Smarty pants.
Peep gang. I told y'all what them entities. I told y'all what they do. I told y'all. He just confirmed it. Just feast on fear, stress, and anxiety. These are what these negative entities feed on. And the kid is the first source. Very powerful, very pure. That's pure fear, pure stress, pure anxiety. Very tasty meal for negative beings and entities. And that's ironic, because that's exactly what your government puts the people under. Fear tactics, fear mongering, a lot of stress, and anxiety. So you can wonder why there's so much spiritual activity and people are just around here being feasted on daily. And then they told you that magic was bad. Sage, when you're saging and you're doing things to cleanse yourself, spirituality is bad. So they feared, mongered, and scared you away from the one thing that could protect you, give you a little bit of defense. Gotcha.
Not that I can remember. No.
I did, Bo.
Okay. How weird. Anyway, I was supposed to feed on her until she was like 10, and then move on to another kid. That's what we do, since children are such easy prey, but I kind of stuck with her. Look at her. She's so innocent and sweet. She was always so nice to me. Even when she was scared, she started tossing me socks to use for a snack. Then she started to grow up. She stopped calling to me until her parents started the divorce. She needed someone to listen to her.
So I take it you have a very good relationship with her. Could you elaborate on what rules you broke? The laws made by your kind. What can you tell me about your species?
I broke the rules and they exiled me to my cave. I can't go back up there, but I can come out here. Let me show you.
Interview 3887A, 23. Interviewer, Dr. Garden. Interviewee, SCP-3887A. Playing log now.
Good morning, SCP-3887A. Did you sleep well?
Yes, we did. Me and Greta talked a lot, but I think it helped me sleep.
That's good to hear. Now, today, I would like you to tell me a little more about that theory you told me about last time. About how SCP-3887B came to be. Do you think we can tackle that?
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Okay, so last time you said you created SCP-3887B based on what scared you. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course. It is quite simple, actually. I mean, you have seen Grenda, haven't you? I find her cute now, but when I was a kid, she was very frightening. The teeth like a shark. I remember my parents brought me to an aquarium once, and in the tanks there was this massive bull shark. It had the craziest look, and those fangs were so scary. And that night, go figure, Grenda smiled, and I saw the same fangs.
I understand. The same reasoning goes for the rest of its body?
Her body... But yes, I guess so. I can tell you for sure I was scared of the rats crawling through the fields around the house, and I mean, when I was little, like, very little, I was apparently scared of boobs, or at least that's what Mum used to tell me, hence why Grenda had such a flared chest. It does make sense, right?
It would look like it. So, you think you are the cause for SCP-3887B's existence? That it depends on you to exist?
A thought form?
It's the only thing that makes sense, right? I
manifested
met
thought
her,
form.
so that's why she helps me. She keeps me company. She doesn't make me feel alone, and she listens to me. With her, I'm not really alone. I mean, when I don't need her, she vanishes, and she pops out again when I do.
I understand. Thank you for your time, SCP-3887A. We can stop here for today.
Interview 3887-B7. Interviewer, Dr. Garden. Interviewee, SCP-3887-B. Notes. This interview was taken while SCP-3887A was taking part in its weekly training session. Playing log now.
Good day, SCP-3887B.
One other thing I just thought about. The way they operate. Monsters, Inc. Think about it. Before y'all, think about it. He just broke it down. What they were saying, what were they doing in that movie? They were scaring them babies under their beds, in their closet. Fear, stress, anxiety. Good source, pure source. Children. Monsters, Inc.
SCP-3887B, is everything okay?
I'm hungry, woman. I have little patience for your questioning today.
Hungry? I'm quite sure we had SCP-3887A feed you her socks yesterday.
You better get that boy some
Were they
break.
not enough?
Socks are just a snack, woman. My race lives off fear. Even if she's an adult. Used to have all the fears and paranoia any functional adult would have. And now that she's here, she's calmed right down. It's not like she has much to worry about now, does she?
Well, I understand you have her well-being in high consideration. Shouldn't that be nice to know?
Of course I am, but I'm starving here. What trickles around here is not enough for me. I need more.
I'm sure we can find a solution to this problem. I'll make sure to make my superiors aware. Now, about that interview.
I need to feed. I need to feed now.
Additional notes. At this point, the camera feed becomes completely unstable, as Dr. Walker, who was stationed in the observation room at the time, reported that he watched as SCP-3887B's arms emerged from under the bed and seized Dr. Garden before dragging her into the darkness, disappearing from the site.
Whoa.
SCP-3887A was immediately recalled to its room and prompted to call for SCP-3887B, but without any apparent result. 13 minutes after disappearing, Dr. Garden was suddenly expelled from under the bed. Bruised, completely wet, missing her shoes, glasses, and socks, but mostly unharmed. Dr. Garden was later interviewed. Interview 3887 Alpha. Interviewer, Dr. Walker.
Man. Look here, bro. Look here, bro. That boy said she was expelled from under the bed, bruised, completely wet, missing her shoes, glasses, and socks. It's almost like he kind of like this, like pull, like, you know what I'm saying, like pulling the meat off the bone. You know what I'm saying? And slopped her up out of her socks, glasses, and shoes, bruh. She probably only got the bruises because he snatched her up. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring that ass here. Come here. Bloop, 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 bloop. Give me all this stuff. Licking all on it. Look at all this. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, she didn't die, so I can laugh. She probably was too funny,
Dr.
though, but I'm just
Garden.
saying.
Notes. This interview was taken after a preliminary...
Note. When you think you're safe. Just when you thought you were safe and wasn't nothing gonna happen. See, you see how y'all speak in such confidence? I always talk to my superiors and I can see how I can never we'll see what we can work out. He said, no, shawty, I'm hungry. You ain't understanding right now. I ain't got no patience to be talking to you today. I don't ask no questions. I am hungry. Y'all ain't got enough for me. It ain't enough substance in this thing. I'm looking around. Baby girl, listen, I'm hungry. You know what? Let me holler at you. Let me get that up out you. Let me get that up out you. Oh, glasses. Let me get them up out you. They get up out of here. Next time I say I'm hungry, shawty, you better bring me some food and stop talking.
Preliminary medical check following the events of interview log 3887 B7. Playing log now.
How are you feeling, Amelia? Are you sure you want to do this now? It can wait after a proper medical exam and mental check, if you prefer.
I'm fine, thank you. Do not treat me like a child. Let's get this over with.
As you wish, then. Can you tell me what happened after SCP-3887-B grabbed you?
Yes. After the entity grabbed me, I immediately tried to free myself, even though I knew it would be almost impossible to get loose.
I know, right?
He dragged me under the bed and into the darkness with it, but once I was beneath the bed frame, it pulled me downwards, as if through the floor. You know the sensation when you suddenly feel yourself falling? That sudden pull at your belly? I felt that. The light of the room vanished and it was all black. Pitch black. It lasted, I'd say, 15 seconds. Yes, 15 seconds before I reached the ground.
Was SCP-3887-B with you during all of this?
It was holding on to me while I was falling, but once I reached the floor, it was nowhere. I felt it was there. I couldn't see it, but on the other hand, I could now see what was around me. I was in a cave, I'd say roughly 50 meters in diameter. Black rock, I think some kind of granite. There was a waterfall, a lake, and violet gems littering the walls. I would say amethysts, if not for the fact they were glowing. Like lots and lots of little candles. Oh, and there was a hole where sunlight was coming in through the ceiling.
Sunlight? Well, that is surprising.
Amethyst.
Nothing else particularly peculiar there.
Oh, on the contrary. Right after I looked up, I noticed that there were lots of other holes in the cavern ceiling, but they were all dark. When looking at the sunny one, I noticed what appeared to be a ripped rope tangling from it. In the cave itself, there wasn't much. But on the large rock platform above the water, I found what I feel safe to assume is SCP-3887-B's home. I found piles of socks, some old-looking stuffed animals, a little violin, and at least 3 pictures of SCP-3887-A.
I understand. What about SCP-3887-B?
Yes. Well, during all of this, From the moment I ended up there up to once I emerged, I was terrified. I could hear that thing moving in the dark, stalking me. I admit, I felt like it was going to kill me. I could see her fangs, her eyes, its claws. Apologies. I was running around screaming. I even fell in the water, lost my shoes in the blasted pond. I tried to find a hole to hide in, and I wouldn't be able to tell you how many times I fell on the ground trying to run away from SCP-3887B.
Just like the movies.
And yet, I don't think I actually saw it even once.
And how did you escape from there?
Well, I was suddenly grabbed by SCP-3887B. It felt like it appeared from the dark, but I was feeling so terrified I just as likely didn't see it approaching. She lifted me up. I think she smiled with all those jagged fangs. I was sure that was going to eat me when it rose me higher and opened its mouth. Instead, it grabbed my socks and pulled them off, then started to chew on them. I think it even said thank you before tossing me into one of the holes. I felt like I was being sucked away. There was darkness, that pulling again, and next thing I knew, I was back under the bed with all of you around me.
I see. Thank you, Amelia.
So that's how she got wet then. Okay.
I think we can conclude this interview here.
It seemed like she got slopped down. That's what it was sounding like, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like she went in that thing and she was like, give me this about, you know what I'm saying? Like basically licking the shoes and socks off her head. You know what I'm saying? But she lost her shoes because she down running. And, you know, I could already tell you they're probably in some slides. You know what I'm saying? So them boys probably came right off her feet, splashing and splooshing in the water, splooshing and stuff. And then, so obviously the thing is pretty big too, y'all. Oh, straighten them up a little bit, sorry. So obviously, you know what I'm talking about, the thing pretty big. You know what I'm saying? Because it said lifted her higher. You know what I mean? She thought she was finna just get you know what I'm saying? Get goat like the aristocrats. Because them boys right there, they pretty big. Eat you one goat. You know what I'm saying? Like some Attack on Titan big. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, this thing right here. I mean, all right, let's finish up because we almost finished. Let's get it.
Additional notes. After the incident, SCP-3887-A and B were observed talking with one another.
Yeah.
SCP-3887-A relayed SCP-3887-B's apologies to Dr. Garden. To date, SCP-3887-B has refused to bring anyone else into its home. Okay. I think that about does it for today. Thank you all for listening, if indeed you still are, and I hope you get a good night's sleep. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Ladies and gents, that concludes the vision. I hope you enjoyed that information right there. Parents, I hope you see now that there is, in fact, something under the bed. I'm not going to necessarily say that it's always going to be this entity, because clearly it did say that there was other things out there to get down that does this as well. So they just so happened to call this one, and they wanted to know where it came from. And I'm not necessarily sure she manifests this thing at all. I'm pretty sure it was already a thing, and it had already been on her, and they just become fond of each other. That's just what it seems like to me. I mean, I could be wrong here, because I mean, I'm not buddy with the monster under the bed. You know what I mean? I mean, a couple gargoyles or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? But not no monster under the bed. That's interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Y'all, in the comment section, please let me know what you think about this thing. Let me know if you've had any experiences with monsters under the bed when you were a child. If you still have issues now. I mean, I don't give a damn how old you are. You know what I'm saying? If it's something still up under your bed, bruh, something's still up under your bed, ma'am. And it's just what it is. You know what I mean? And obviously it's there for a reason, so you may want to go ahead and address that, face that, accept that, talk to that, see what the business is, see if y'all can work some things out, and ask it just why in the muck are you messing with me, you know what I'm saying? Or why are you here? Is there something that I could help you with? Is there something that you want from me? Y'all ask questions, man, I promise you're going to get some answers. May not be the answer you want, but I'd rather ask a question to something stalking me than something just stalking me. You feel me? But the thing's pretty interesting though. And the whole teleportation bit. Now see, now I'm like, yeah, buddy. But it definitely puts me in the mindset of Monsters Inc. now. Now that they broke down that description, and you know what I'm saying, what they all about, and you know what I'm saying, how they feast and why they feast and who they looking for and all of that. Yeah, it definitely puts me in the mindset of Monsters Inc. I never seen that particular monster. If y'all have, y'all let me know. Like I said, I remember something being up on the mind. I saw some big claw hands, never saw a face. Had I seen a face and it looked like that, I'd have been telling y'all that, hey man, it's the real fucking deal. But I don't doubt that it's not real anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Just like every other SCP that we've covered. They've come from somewhere. They've been doing something. You know what I'm saying? This one's pretty interesting. I'm actually going to try to look into more of this because I'm actually interested in this one. This is interesting because I've had my own personal experience. So I'm really, really intrigued here. But I hope you enjoyed the video, man. You know what I'm talking about? Keep your head on the swivel. Y'all remember to protect yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Do not let this world drive you crazy. And until next time, we got more SCPs coming. That one's wild, man. That's wild. It snatched that woman up. So I'm just really thinking about that child that got snatched under the bed that time in that other video. Y'all go check that video out. It's one of my countdown videos. I can't remember exactly what who it was that video was, but yeah, check that out if you find it. You know what I'm saying? Or keep this one in the back of your mind and peep that other one, and let's see if we can chain link some stuff together. Like I said, that is what we're here for, to figure it all out. So for those that are new, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. For those that have returned, Academates, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And thank you all for joining me. So, to all the guys and goddesses and high vibrating species out there, I send you off with peace and love. Peace and love.